Long ago in the village of Umwoka, where the drums beat like a heart and the moon told stories to the night, there lived a man named Maazi Okeke. He was the wealthiest man in the land. His yam barns stretched farther than the eye could see. His granary was full, even in the worst famine, and his goats were so fat they walked like chiefs. But Maazi Okeke was not a man of laughter. He trusted no one, loved no one, and shared with no one. If you greeted him, he grunted. If you visited, he did not offer cola. If a child cried for food, he turned his back. Love makes men weak, he often said, pounding his chest. A man is strong when he needs no one. Even when his own younger brother, Chike, came to beg for help after losing his farm to a fire, Maazi Okeke turned him away. "Go and work harder," he barked. The villagers whispered, "What kind of man eats alone when others are hungry?" But no one dared question him. He had power, he had wealth, and in his mind, he needed nothing else. Years passed and Maazi Okeke's wealth grew, but his body grew tired. His back bent like a dry plantain stem, and his legs shook like a trapped rabbit. One day, as he sat outside his compound struggling to eat a plate of pounded yam, the food slipped from his trembling fingers. His dog, the only living thing near him, snatched it away. He groaned, "I should call someone to bring me more." But who? He had no wife, no child, no friend. Even his brother Chike had long left the village after being turned away so many times. With his belly empty and his heart heavy, he forced himself to stand and walk toward the village square. The sun had started to set, casting golden light on the dancing children and the elders telling stories under the baobab tree. He stood at a distance, watching. Women shared food, passing bowls of soup with warm smiles. Fathers carried their sons on their shoulders, laughing. Old men chewed cola together, smacking their lips in satisfaction. A deep loneliness gripped Maazi Okeke's chest. His barns were full, yet he was starving. His compound was the biggest, yet he had no one to call his own. For the first time, he felt fear, not the fear of losing money, but the fear of dying with no one to notice. That night, he lay on his mat, listening to the sound of distant laughter. He closed his eyes, but sleep refused to come. His wealth was useless now. His hands were too weak to cook, his feet too feeble to walk far. At dawn, when the village roosters crowed, Maazi Okeke did not rise. The morning sun found him still lying there, silent, cold, alone. When the villagers discovered his lifeless body, they did not mourn. They did not cry. Instead, they took his yams and divided them among the hungry. His compound, once filled with riches, became an empty shell, swallowed by weeds. His name, once feared, became nothing more than a warning. And the village elders told the children, "A man who eats alone dies alone." Because in the end, wealth cannot hold your hand, pride cannot call your name, and power cannot wipe your tears. Only love can.